Okay, you guys, let's jump into it. Hot topics. So, a Georgia woman demands answers after her legally blind brother was sold a car despite being unable to read a document. Salesman reportedly drove him home following the purchase. You know that he's mentally disabled, right? So, let's get into the audio. Let's listen.
That's where we went. I'm Harry
Hold
Sandler.
on.
Mr. Johnson, this is the contract that you signed. Can you read any of this contract for me? Did you read it before?
I have trouble seeing. I still have trouble seeing a little bit of stuff, you know.
Thomas is totally blind in his left eye. And his sister says he can barely see out of his right eye. These are all the documents he had to sign. The bill of sale, the odometer disclosure, and an aftermarket anti-theft warranty.
I can see where I signed my name down there.
Where'd you sign your name?
I think it was,
Well, it's right there.
yeah, where I signed my name right there.
This is the biggest print on the page, okay? Can you read that right there? Thomas could not identify the dealership's logo, Heritage Volkswagen. That's where we went. I'm Harry Sandler, actually.
Oh, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir.
We found the salesman who not only sold Thomas the car, he and a coworker drove him home in it. When you got the car back here, did you try and drive it around the parking
I
lot?
sure did. And when I started to get the hang of the car, see, I haven't drove a car in about 5 years.
But I'm just trying to understand, like, why someone would sell a car to someone who clearly can't drive.
So yeah, and let me explain it. So let me refresh myself so I won't misquote, misrepresent.
The salesman politely asked us to come inside to pull up the file. I could tell immediately when I met with him that there was...
He's challenged to whatever extent.
Right.
But give me a second.
Okay.
I want to have a conversation. I would love to have a conversation.
Okay. And that's where our conversation ended. A legal expert says it is not cut and dried. Mr. Johnson had the means, and he renewed his driver's license in 2021. Under Georgia law, he is competent.
Like it might rain.
Once you are 18 years old, you are legally competent adult. You are competent to contract. You are responsible for your actions, be they civil or criminal, unless and until a court takes that away from you.
Aaron Willoughby is an attorney who spent 18 years interpreting contracts for people with limited education.
Blind people buy houses. Blind people buy cars.
Okay, you guys, so let's jump into it. So as you can see, the man went into the car dealership trying to buy a car, and he was blind. He can't see out one eye, and then the other eye is not all the way up to part. And the car salesman still sold him the car. And his sister and family members are upset because they feel like that, why would you sell him a car and he's not equipped to basically drive and operate this car? He's not really even in his right mind. And on top of that, he has a disability. So do you guys think, what are you guys' opinion when it comes down to people and salespeople selling things to people that either has a disability or they are not mentally mentally well to basically take on the responsibility of a purchase or whatever? What do you guys think about that? A lot of people are like, well, just because a person has a disability, that don't mean that they can't make their decision and they can't get around. That's perfectly true. Nobody's saying that. But at the end of the day, I just feel like, sometimes we definitely need to, even if you're in that business where you have to sell stuff for commission or whatever, sometimes we need to use our discernment. You know what I'm saying? Before we sit up here and end up, dealing with way more problems in the future, all behind a sale, all behind some money. Because in reality, I feel like this. First of all, we have to be careful and be mindful. If you have somebody that is either elderly or have a disability that you're close to that's in your family, please watch after them. People take so much advantage of them. You guys would not believe. I never forget, I looked into a situation for an elderly person that I am close to. And when I looked into their situation, as far as like the medical and stuff like that, this person was getting robbed blind. Blind. I'm talking about a person like, you know, they didn't have no clue. They thinking that they ain't getting nothing. They thinking that, you know what I'm saying, they would have to fill out a lot of paperwork, not knowing that the system was corrupt. The whole system. And once I got in there acting like Johnny Cochran and got some stuff in order, then it was like, oh well, you know, it just exposed a lot. And it made me very aware of how people do not care if you have a disability, how people do not care if you're elderly and you're not, you know, you can't comprehend. They're looking at the fact of, if I could get them to sign it or if I could get them to go along with it, they'll do it. And that's where I feel like the line should be crossed. Because at the end of the day, let's just keep it real. Yes, the man, you know, in the video who sold him the car or whatever, he was just like, oh yeah, you know, he like, oh, you know, oh, I can explain that. Let me let you know. Excuse me, sir. You and a coworker had to literally, after he so-called signed the paperwork and stuff like that, y'all had to get in the car, drive him all the way home, and drop him off in that same car that he just purchased with you guys. Why you do that? You felt like he was good enough. Oh yeah, I didn't see the problem. That's shady to me. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's shady to me. You know this man couldn't even drive off your lot, but you didn't want him to take a chance and get in that car, and next thing you know, wreck up another car out there, or or don't even get down the street good enough. So yes, you took it upon yourself to be like, yeah, I got the sale, but I'm not even all the way sure this man can even make it down the street. So we gonna take you home, man. And y'all think that that's not people taking advantage? Y'all don't think that people should be held accountable when it comes down to stuff like that? Like that man sit up and say he haven't operated a car in years. Granted, he probably had a license and it was time for him to renew his stuff or whatever. But I just feel like that it's so sickening to see how people are willing to basically, you know what I'm saying, put other people's life in danger. Because that man getting behind the wheel, even if he did buy the car from you guys and you guys feel like, oh, well, he could comprehend, he okay, you know what I'm saying, this is what he wanted to do. Come on, man. It's just certain things you should be like, you know what, I can't even have it on my conscience, because let's just keep it real. You can barely even read what's on this paper. How did he get up there? I don't know. We don't know. I'm just saying. And then some people are like, well, how did he get up there? And how would he would have known? And you know what I'm saying? And it's more to the story. It doesn't matter. As a person that is in a certain type of business or whatever, you should have common sense to be like, you know what? I can't do this until I, you know, cover the tracks all the way. I don't feel as comfortable. That's just like a person that is a bartender. I'm pretty sure it's rules and regulations that you need to go by. You ain't finna sit up here and get somebody wasted, drunk, and then next thing you know, be like, here, hey, you got the keys? You might be like, you know what? I see you already a little toasted. I'm gonna scale back and don't give you nothing else, or I'm going to call an Uber or something to make sure you get home. Every situation that you're in, when it comes down to business or whatever, it should be some type of level of common sense to be like, this is something that I don't want to be attached to my name, because it could definitely go wrong. So what do you guys think about that? Do you guys feel like the car salesman was not in the wrong for selling the guy the car, or do you guys feel like he should definitely be held accountable for selling a blind man a car? A blind man a car. Yeah, let me know.